Hi, and welcome to the Spiritual Awakener podcast. This is a podcast where I, Susan Kennard, gets to interview really cool people about their lives, about their spiritual awakening, and about turning points that have happened in their life that have led them to serve you, the collective. And my next guest today is a lovely lady that I happened upon. Apparently, she knew me from a little while before, but then this year we connected together and we had an amazing experience working together. So I want to introduce you to Mary Halima Fleming. Welcome, Mary, to the Spiritual Awakener podcast.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh,
Good
you're really
morning from
welcome.
Sedona.
Good morning. It's good afternoon here from the UK. Oh, well, thanks for coming on the podcast. I mean, I really wanted to share your message with my audience because I love to talk to people that have different approaches in healing. And obviously mine is pretty unique as well. And I think it's really good to offer many different ways of helping ourselves and not just maybe thinking that one is our holy grail. So Mary, can you tell us a bit about yourself?
Sure, I'd be glad to. Just a little bit of history. I came into the world, I think I was maybe an advanced starseed or something, but I came into the world very early on asking, my parents, what's my purpose? Why am I here? And
Wow.
what's the truth of this existence? What are we doing? What am I doing here? What's going on? And it was very frustrating because really nobody had the answer. So, I mean, I would ask anybody that I thought might have the answer, a priest, a nun, or, a teacher, and they all just looked at me like I was kind of crazy. It's like, oh, you're too young to ask that, because I don't think they
Wow.
knew the answer. So, and then in, junior high, high school, I would stay up all night and I had all the books, all the holy books, the Bible, the Quran, the Bhagavad Gita,
Wow.
all of the books. And I'd be like trying to find out what is the one truth in all of them. And that didn't help either. So what happened was I just had to kind of wing it myself. And I tried to find my purpose through different careers. And I went through like probably, let's say, last count, 12 careers. And of course, didn't scratch my heart, didn't scratch my soul. And, our purpose is in our soul, and we're bigger, 70,000 times bigger than we think we are. And
Yeah.
so finally, out of frustration and after different careers, and, I just went in my head, like I like art. I'll work at an art gallery. Oh, I like travel. Okay, I'll go work at an airlines. Oh, I like marketing. I'll go sell billboards in Times Square. So, I mean, it was
Mary,
just like
I think
crazy.
people listening to this are going to go, "Oh my God, that's me, that's me, that's me." I did that.
Yeah.
I'm like, I listened to it, and oh my goodness, I've had 10 jobs. I've had this, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
I
it wasn't
expect
it. And I
people
was
have.
miserable in all of them. I
Mm,
was, I mean,
yeah,
I learned a lot of skills that are good in
yeah,
the world,
yeah,
but it didn't satisfy my thirst for the truth, for my soul, for my passion. What did I love to do?
yeah.
And, it was very confining. Corporate America is not, a healthy place for most people. So anyway, so cut to out of frustration after all those, I finally sat down. This was sort of my turning point. I was 48 years old and I sat down and I wrote a letter out of like a cry, a deep cry from my soul. And I could still like get a little, emotional about it.
Oh,
And yeah, because it was just a deep, deep soul cry. Oh, wow. There is a happy ending, by the way. So yeah, I wrote a letter to God and I said, look, I think I'm a healer. I want a direct connection with source, with God, the created, somebody that knows, no middleman, because so far
yeah,
I haven't found anybody that knows. I also wrote, I want to live in Florida. At the time I was working in New York City. I want direct connection. And if there is a spiritual teacher on this planet that knows the truth, please, I need to find him or her.
wow,
So
powerful.
anyway, yeah, so I forgot about writing the letter. And then what happened was I burned my suit in pumps in a barrel in Times Square. And I said, okay, I'm done with corporate America. I don't know what's next. And I moved to Florida and somebody opened me a home to home sit. their grandmother that just died. So anyways, I was living in Florida, and then I was just going through my notebook and I read back what I wrote, and I realized, oh my goodness, I'm already living in Florida, and I have a spiritual teacher who is a Sufi master saint from Jerusalem, who is the kind of person you meet in, 20 lifetimes. You're lucky if you meet one person like this. and and it was the deep answer, because the Sufi path is the path of the heart, and it's a path of direct connection with God, the divine source, the one that breathes us and beats our heart. Yeah.
So beautiful.
So it's
I think that's
guru.
What everyone is really reaching for, aren't they? That inner knowing, that knowing, that total acceptance of who you are, and that total part of you that is unconditional love. Yeah.
Right. And the Sufi path is the path of the heart. And so that's what I was missing. I was living from my head, but my soul was crying. And so, it was just, he's on the other side now, but he did come to Florida and visit us once a year and brought the teachings and the healings. And I learned the Sufi spiritual healing from him.
Wow.
And it's a powerful, easy, gentle way to open the heart to heal whatever needs healing, whether it's physical,
Mary,
mental, emotional, spiritual.
Definitely do, because I know you and I have done this. So I think it'd be really great just a little bit later for everyone, all the listeners, to actually experience this, maybe a particular sound, because I know you work with sound. So maybe we can share that with my listeners. That would be really amazing. Maybe to open the heart to love, or something more love, or whatever it might be. I think open the heart to love. Yeah, more love.
Yeah, always need that. I mean, that's the truth of existence, is love.
Exactly.
And this is the planet of love. This is where we're heading toward. And the beautiful thing about the heart energy center, chakra, whatever you want to call it, is that it is our pathway to a direct connection, tasting, knowing, not a concept, but a tasting of knowing of source. It's like, that's where home is. And it's also multidimensional. And what I'm passionate about helping you talk about the collective, is to know that we, in order to really transition into the higher dimensions, into the, as we're moving from third dimensional into fifth dimensional, you can't get there without the heart. You just can't. You have to.
Really
this
believe
is a master key piece. It's a key
I
piece.
call that ascension. We talk about ascension all the time, don't we, at the moment? But if we look at that, ascension is individual, isn't it? It's an individual journey of love, understanding that everything, including yourself, is love. Yeah.
Right. And it's more than a concept. That's the thing. I wanted to know in every cell of my being. So we do very simple. I've learned very simple practices. I just didn't like twinkle my nose and overnight became a master Sufi teacher. And there's walking and there's practices. And the beautiful thing is, just back to what I was saying about, I tried from my head to figure it out. When you're ready, the teacher appears. Exactly. And everybody's assigned a path that works for them. And this path, I didn't know what Sufi was. I didn't know what the heart was, the opening heart. I didn't know anything. I had pretty much given up. I was drinking heavily. All my jobs, I had to entertain clients. Wow. And so I had just, and I couldn't have figured out from my head that this was my path, because my head didn't know there was a Sufi master on the planet. My head didn't know that, that there was a path such as this, with a long lineage, that unbroken lineage that's kept pure over the centuries.
Your soul
my soul knew. Yeah. So
and your child knew, and your inner child. And just recently, just a post this morning about the inner child knowing your mission, and your inner child knew, and your soul knew, didn't it? It's just that you'd forgotten.
Right. I've forgotten. And I was still looking outside myself, because that's what I was taught. I mean, I'm the child of the 50s, and, that wasn't a very enlightened time. So, living in New England, and that's, very mental, smart, brilliant mind people. And it was just, and it wasn't in the religion either. No, so my passion, my main passion and purpose is to speak the truth for those that are ready to hear it, and to really help through the healing practice and the Sufi practices, through the healing method that's simple, easy, gentle, profound, never ignites a trauma, but to help people release all the false pictures from the religion, from the programming of unworthiness, guilt, shame, powerlessness, fear, all the stuff that for thousands of years we've been falsely programmed with.
Wow.
So it's such a easy, gentle way to really rewire ourselves to remember that, of course, we're spiritual beings having a human experience, to wake up and to realize we're a divine representative of source on this planet. That's who we are. And we're sovereign beings, and we came here to bring heaven to earth. So heaven can be here, and that's what we're working on.
And there's so many opting
go ahead.
out, aren't there, Mary? You know, there's so many opting out of this experience because it's become so difficult and so dense. And, you know, and I know soul contracts, you know, some of them will have chosen that, but also I do feel that it feels like we can't have heaven on earth. We have to go to heaven to feel that peace, when actually, like you said, heaven is within, you know, it is on earth. That inner peace knowing is actually who we are, and we can access that and, you know who we are
and
without passing.
And be that for the planet. As more of us wake up to do it, it becomes a reality. But we have to do it. You know, the ETs are not going to come down and save us. We have to do it.
I mean, they help us. They're really helpful.
They do help us. Oh, yeah.
They're really helpful. But
I have got a great team of galactic beings and saints, and, you know, we all have so much support. And this is the planet of free will, and the law of the universe is they can't intercede unless we ask. And they can't, like,
what would
it's
you
just
say
like Star
about
Trek.
Protection? What would you say? Because would we so say people are feeling, so I'm just thinking of my audience here, you know, if they're feeling unprotected at the moment, you know, because there is a huge amount, we're recording this early June in 2021, and anyone who's listening to this now understands, you know, what's going on in the world. And if you listen to this in years to come, I'm sure you will know what went on in the world at this time. And many people are feeling very unprotected and feeling very unsafe. What could you say to those people?
Well, that's the beauty of having a path, because for me, I know that I'm not here alone, and that there is a long lineage behind me. And I can count on them. I can feel them. I know that I'm safe. And when you also have a direct connection with the divine, and you're feeling that bliss and beauty inside, which is palpable, and, you know, it's not just a concept, then what else could you want? And you just like almost don't care that what's happening, you know what I mean? Because you've got your connection, you're sure that you're protected. So that's the beauty of a path. And then, you know, there's many paths. Each one is like assigned for certain paths that agree with your body and your soul. And then the other thing is, you know, there are protection prayers that to do. There are also just through your intention, you know, putting white light around you. In the Sufi way, we do an ablution, a watering. Water is the closest thing to light on this planet. So we wash our head, our ears, our senses, our hands, our feet, and we, you know, just always are just kind of in that place where we're putting light through water. That's one way. And then we also have prayers or divine names that we can use, which maybe I can share too. Whatever works for people.
I mean, I'm really feeling with my guides, I'm feeling like something that would be really helpful for people just to experience it, Mary, because I think experiencing it and the power of these words, guys, if you're listening to this, you know, definitely really sit quietly with this, because I think just to feel the power of the vibration of these words that are coming and shortly, then you'll actually start to feel much more peace within you. Mary, do you want to do
Right.
that? What do you feel?
Yeah, sure. And,
Because my
you're a
guides are
Sufi
kind of
already. Yeah, the Sufi, because the Sufi don't, anything I say, don't, it's not in a book. And it actually, it's a one-on-one transmission. There's really no books about this.
Yeah.
And it's to taste it for yourself, to know it for yourself. So yeah.
Let's go for
So
it.
so one so shall we start? Should I just share
Yeah.
some different?
Absolutely, because I feel like people really
Okay.
need at this time, Mary, lots of support and help. So this would be amazing. Yeah.
Okay, good. So
Hmm.
so always it's about really centering ourselves, crown open to the heavens, feet on the earth, connecting to the earth, your earth star, your soul star. And in the Sufi way, we're just breathing in and out of our heart space and letting our heart massage the center of our chest. So I'm trying to transmit that right now. I'm in my heart. I'm breathing deeply, maybe 3, 4, 5 inches inside my chest, in the center of my chest, and just opening up that beautiful, multidimensional, layered energy center that carries your heart, your emotions. Your heart is an energy. I just want to give some background for the people that have strong minds so they can take some time to know what we're going to do before we do it. And so we work with the heart energy center because it's a hologram. And this hologram contains our body, our mind, our emotions. It contains our little finger. It contains our memories. It contains everything. So by focusing on this one place, and of course, it contains our soul, our spirit, everything is contained in here. So by just kind of focusing on this place, it's very simple, focused. And if anybody's listening in a place that they can do it, not when you're driving, I would just suggest to put your right hand or whatever hand is available on your just upper chest by your thymus, in the center, high center of your chest. And just as you're breathing, relax normally, allow your breath to also just gently massaging the center of your chest. And one of the main sound technology, this is a sound technology, and it encodes light codes and it encodes numerology. And the sound code for the heart energy center is So even if you didn't know any of the light codes that I'll be sharing, you can always use So it's just like oh, I'm home. Oh
It's
yeah,
like a
right. I'm
sigh, isn't
safe.
it? It's like a
Yeah, it is like
sigh.
a sigh. It's
Yeah.
just like, just relaxes you. It opens the heart and it just brings you back into the present moment, back into our body and connecting the head with the heart. So it's like, And the Sufis use the word Allah, which means the one, which contains all of the divine qualities of the divine. So just one more piece and then we'll do some practice. So it is said in many of the religions and many of the paths that we're made in the image and likeness of the divine, and that we're divine representatives of the divine on this earth. So what it means is we don't look like that on the outer, but on the inner, we're meant to be wired with all these beautiful divine qualities, divine attributes, divine lights of the divine. And so in the Sufi way, we have 99 divine names that actually rewire us with these qualities that over time we become wired with it. And some of the qualities are safety, peace, beauty, protection, majesty, glory, there's mercy, justice, love, 99 beautiful names. And each of these names are encoded in the Arabic language, which, similar to Sanskrit, is a light language. It's an alive language. and it's not a description of the thing. When you invoke this name, it actually changes the molecules in your body and your being in the air. It's an alive language, a light language. So that's the magic of it. It works. The name does the work.
Wow.
So we just have to be willing to receive it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
We good so far? Okay.
Yeah,
good.
absolutely. All right. And I'm really listening to you, and I'm sure that my listeners are, my audience is, because it just sounds so simple, but you have to be in that space to be ready to receive. And I think, if you're listening in here, then it's time, you're ready to receive this beautiful healing today.
Yes. Yes. Everybody can do it because we're all one soul, and our soul knows this language. Our soul responds to it because it knows this. It's the universal language. It's alive. It's a light language. So, all right. So let's start. One basic one is a good one. And I've taught this to a lot of younger people too, that can't sleep, or they're anxious because they feel the energy, or empaths, when you're feeling the energy of the collective, and it is fearful, it is anxiety, producing. And it's really a master quality that heals. And so let's just taste it. And I just invite everybody again, just to relax, just So many of the divine names that we'll be using, they'll have that sound. So it helps the heart, the soul, the spirit. So putting your hand on your upper chest, we're going to be chanting the name Salam, Salaam, as in Mary. It's like salami without the I. And we're going to just be invoking it. So it's as if we're saying, oh, divine source of peace, safety, security, and healing, send me that. Fill me with this. So it's always an invocation. So we'll just chant it and let the name let this divine code do the work. We just have to just receive, allow. So Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, oh divine As-Salam, the divine quality of peace, safety, security, and healing. Fill our souls, fill our hearts, fill our bodies. Help us fill our hearts to the overflowing with your peace, security, healing, so that we may be this in the world. So I'm going to say it 3 times, and then everybody can just say it with me out loud.
Okay.
And the secret is each of our bodies respond best to our own voice. Yeah. So you can feel my transmission of it. And if you can say it out loud yourself in a place to do that, then your body responds even more exponentially. Fantastic. Okay. So I'm going to say Ya, which means O, and then Salam, which means divine peace, safety, security, and healing. Ya Salam. Let the Ah go right down and back into your heart and body. Ya Salam. Ya Salam.
Shall I go ahead
Feel that
and do
it?
Yeah.
Yes. So let's all do it. Yeah.
Let's do it together.
Let's do it. Okay.
Ya Salam.
I'm an alto, you're a soprano. So okay. Yeah. So Ya Salam. Ya Salam. Ya Salam. I'll try to be high like you. Ya Salam. Again. Ya Salam. Ya Salam. Ya Salam. Ya Salam. So let me just stop and just see, can you feel anything, or can you feel that vibration?
With my own, with your own voice, if you're listening to this and you're doing it, definitely, I know sometimes it feels funny to do these funny sounds and they seem like that, but you can really feel that within your higher heart. And I could definitely feel it. And I'm looking at the energy as well, clairvoyantly, and I could see it going into my higher heart as well. And it's like this wave of energy, I suppose I might say, a wave of light coming in. Yeah.
Yeah. And everybody will experience it in their own way.
Yes.
As you know, whether they might see it, feel it, know it. They might see it as a light, or they might feel it as like a balm, BALM, like a honey. And that's why we're putting our hand on our thymus. That's our upper heart, our higher heart.
Yeah.
So it's just going to go in there, and it knows what each person needs. That's the beauty of it. I mean, this healing is so simple. So if somebody needs, sometimes it will purify and clean some place where you're just in fear or some memory, and you don't have to even know what it is. It'll just clean it. And then it beautifies and just brings in this beautiful taste, this beautiful balm, or this beautiful light.
So if people, if they're listening to it, sorry, Mary, but if they're listening to it, I'm thinking of my audience listening to this thinking, oh my goodness, yeah, I've got this, and this going on. So if they've got that, they can just say, Ya Salam, and it will really help them come to that place of peace with whatever is going on for them in their life. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Or they can ask specifically, it's like, if you don't know, just say, oh, show me, I always tell everybody, just be like a scientist. Just try it on for you and see if it works. And so if you have a specific intention, you can ask for that to be healed. Or if you don't know, just say, let me see how this works, and just try it. Yeah. And just want to say, it's not like, yeah, salam, 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 salam from our head and our throat. No. It's yeah, salam. So it's really into the, in the heart. You're saying it deeply into the heart. So yeah, and if you can't get to sleep, like my niece, she's in her 20s, she couldn't sleep. Her mind, she's in school and her mind's too busy, and it's the only thing that puts her right to sleep. She just doesn't even have to say it a long time. It's like, Ya Salam, and it's a beautiful quality. When I visit people in the hospital, it just puts them at peace, even with all the busyness in the hospital. So we're invoking peace, safety, security, and healing.
So Mary,
Salam. Yes.
Can people, I was just going to say, can people find you on a website, or where can they find you, where they can find out more information about this beautiful work that you share?
Yes, I have a website. It's OneSoul, SOUL, purpose.com.
OneSoulPurpose.com. I love that.
Yeah. And our one soul purpose is to wake up, remember the truth of who we are. And we also have specific purposes too. So, yeah.
So, and do you run, so presumably you do one-to-one sessions that you'll do with people. Do you have groups? Do you have, anything? Tell us what you're doing. Tell us what you're doing at the moment with people.
Right now I'm in Sedona, and so I'm not doing any groups at the moment. I'm just doing one-on-one healings, and I also do life purpose hand analysis readings, and so. But normally, and more in the fall, I normally run groups where we just practice with these divine names, and we choose every time we meet, we choose something to be healed, like whether it's unworthiness or guilt or fear, and then we use the specific names that heal that particular issue. So and it really takes people deeply, and the angels come in whenever a group of people are chanting divine names of source, one, all that is, just angels come from everywhere because they just want to support this. And we call in, this power in the group. Yeah, when we do it together. So, as you know,
yeah, I feel that. I feel like, we're doing this today. Obviously, you and I are doing it together here, but everyone listening, that's listening to this afterwards will be doing it at the same time. And so everyone, you guys, you're not just doing it on your own. You're actually bringing in this for everybody else in the collective, because we are all one.
Right.
So what we're doing, what Mary and I are doing today, you're doing as well. and what you're doing, others are doing. So it's like you can do this for your animals, for your children, for your family, for your friends, for your groups you run, whatever, you know, you're actually helping by doing it yourself. You're helping others to heal at the same time. And boy, do we need that in the world, Mary.
Oh, we do. And as each of us awaken, and there is a tipping point where there's, some people say it's 8%, some people say it's 6.5%. I don't know what exactly it is, but as a certain percentage of us are awake and we're enlightened and we're carrying the love, and our, you know, our heart energy centers are, you know, wide open, yet we're still protected. It's like the soul of humanity wakes up, because we reach a tipping point because we're all one soul. So we're each so important. And if you're incarnated at this time, you're here for a reason.
Oh yeah.
The world needs you. And yeah, it's time to shine your light. And it doesn't have to be hard. It can be easy. If I can do it, anybody can do it.
Same. You know, and you know, I consider myself to be a girl from the village. You know, and it's been my life's work to wake up and spiritually awaken. And we have all these times in our life, don't we, Mary, that are these turning points. And it could be now that this global situation is a turning point for you. You're listening to this, and this, maybe you've lost your job, maybe a relationship, maybe something big is happening in your life and you're having to really look at who you are. That is an incredible door. You know, it's an incredible door to your soul. Maybe your body's showing a message as well. And that's another door to your soul to get you to listen. And listening to Mary talk about this, you know, maybe this is your awakening. Maybe you're like, oh my goodness, I kind of knew this, but I didn't know it. And it feels so true to me. And if that's the case, contact her, you know, reach out to Mary and speak to her and maybe have a session with her. How can they do that, Mary?
Yeah, thank you for saying that. I love to talk to people, and I have on my website a way for people to contact me to set up a free appointment. So we'll just chat for 15-20 minutes and see what you need. You know, I can maybe share a divine name with you, you know, see whether it is you're looking for your purpose, or whether you're looking for a spiritual path, or just healing, whatever it is. It's like, I just want to meet people where you are. And I work a lot with light workers, healers. You know, one of my purposes is to heal the healers. And, you know, and it was done for me because I was a healer, but I didn't know it. Stuck in corporate America. So, you know, it's just, it's any way I can help, I'm here to serve. And just a reminder, in order to make change, you have to do something out of the box. So I'm not going to try to sell you anything. We're just going to have a chat. We'll talk to your soul, and that's on my website, onesoulpurpose.com.
Soulpurpose.com. Wow, that's, I mean, it's just a real time for people to wake up. And, you know, even if you're awake and you feel, oh my goodness, like there's still stuff, which is with everyone, to be honest, that I need to heal and that I need to align to, you know, we don't get it done. But what happens is we align to the best version of ourselves in this moment. And then there's another best version, and there's another best version. And it's closer and closer to that oneness of feeling that unity. And the no separation as well. Like, there's no separation. If you feel this at the moment, there might appear to be a divide and there might appear to be a separation, but there really isn't.
Right. And that's exactly the opposite of what's going on in the planet right now. So this is the darkest before the dawn. And if we can find the unity in our own being and in our own microcosmic life, then that's how we change the world, one heart, one soul at a time. And together we are all one, and we do this. We can do this.
As my Wendy would say, my assistant, we got this.
Yeah, we got this. We can do this. And it's the time is now. And
oh my goodness, Mary. And if we're coming to the end of this conversation now, but if you could just talk to, just for this last little bit, could you just talk to what you meant about the piece of that there isn't a divide and that there isn't a separation, that we spoke about? Why is it that perhaps we see in the outside world the vision of separation or the vision of divide?
Well, because we've been programmed that way. That's how that's what the darkness does. It divide and conquer. And so that's what they're doing. Black against white, male against female, Arab against Jew. I mean, it's just, it's nuts. That's what they're doing. That's the darkness. And so we return to the light inside, and we know that, and we feel, know, see, we can even start with imagining it, but it's like returning to source, where we all are one, and we're all one soul, one heart, one spirit. All, I look at it like a crystal, I'm old, but in the 80s, we had those disco balls, with all the little magic mirrors. Yeah. So we're all one ball. We're all reflecting out a different aspect of the light, and we're each wired with different qualities of the divine. Some of us, have them intrinsic in us. Like one of mine is truth. Hawk. It's just like a straight truth in my being. And different people have, creativity, artists, people in, the darkness can't create, by the way. If you're an artist, that's your purpose, to create, because the darkness can only divide us and suck us dry and copy us and mimic us, but they can't create. So that's just a beautiful thing you can do. If you're an artist, keep creating. If you're a singer, keep singing. It doesn't have to be a job, but just do it, because that's huge.
If you're a writer, keep writing.
Keep writing, right? Just do whatever you love to do, because that's, God wants you to be happy.
And
we're here to be
share
happy.
your message, and however you share your message, whether it's walking along the seafront talking to people, whether it's, I don't mean preaching, but I just mean, expressing yourself with your own truth, just being your own truth is your message, isn't it?
Yeah. And the Sufis say a huge gift to give to the world is a smile. Just to give a smile to the human being. Oh, I got goosebumps on that one. It's like chill bumps. Yeah, it's just like a smile is a gift. It's a holy gift to smile at another human being.
It's interesting because the mask takes that smile away.
Exactly.
So that's very.
It takes our voice away. It takes our smile away.
But
those days are over.
Hear people when they have a mask on. I can't.
Oh, I know, it's all muffled.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, it's no accident.
I literally can't hear them. Yeah, it's almost like I go deaf when someone's wearing a mask. So it's quite interesting, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
So let's smile. Let's smile beneath.
Yeah, from our heart. Yeah, just smile, just from your heart. Just like, a beautiful smile. You can, and as you're holding the light inside your being, that's plenty too, because we're each an acupuncture point on the planet. And so as we're all lighting up points on the planet, it's like we're creating a grid as well.
Wow, I love that.
So
I see that in meditation. I see that definitely in meditation, that when we're sending out that in groups, sending out that healing light, I see lots of lights come on. So that makes sense with what you're saying about the grid of light. I can see that in my mind now.
So you don't necessarily have to have a message. You just be who the divine made you to be, and carry the divine qualities that are naturally imbued in you. And then we can add more with the 99 names. There's more that we add. And so and we become wired, safety, love, peace, mercy, justice, freedom, beauty, joy, healing.
Amazing. Mary,
just by being
so much. Thank you so much.
Okay,
we can talk for hours. It's just,
I know. It's like,
it's so if you enjoyed this, which I'm sure you did, contact Mary at onesoulpurpose.com. Have a chat with her, really take advantage of that session where you can actually connect with her, and mention the Spiritual Awakener podcast when you do. Let her know that you heard her on this podcast, so that she knows where you came from. Thank you, Mary. Thanks so much for being on The Spiritual Awakener and sharing your beautiful vision for the world and your beautiful work and your beautiful soul. It's been fantastic.
Thank you. It's been my honor and pleasure and privilege.
It really has. Okay, so thank you everyone for listening to the Spiritual Awakener podcast. If you have an awakening story that you would like to share with my listeners, where you had a turning point that you now help others to heal from, I would love to hear from you. So please find me at susankennard.co.uk. Much love for now.